Happy Monday morning. This is Justin, or whatever time you're actually seeing this. I'm going to go through a live morning routine this morning just to get through the daily morning activities of the stuff that we got to go through, which is going to be I'm going to spend about 2 minutes inside of a notebook capturing the critical things that we've got to get done today, what's actually already been done this morning, and then also we'll go on the walk with the puppy and doing some of the coach check-ins. Wanted to be able to create these as a way to walk through and demonstrate kind of ways of working that works outside of the norm and like how we can get stuff done in a peaceful and exciting way, and also still in the process of testing out some new technology around around using different microphones and being able to record different ways at different times. So let me just go through here and we just create a little bit of banner to get this one started. Morning routine is what we'll talk about here. Let's go. All right, we got it. Let's get that ticker going. Yeah, all right, we'll just keep it here. We got morning routine starting to go through. So I'm going to start in from the notebook and just capture down a couple of the key things that we've got to get done for the day. So it is, I'm just going to capture a couple of these things down. 5 things that I want to get done today that are critical. Okay. Okay. I'm just talking through these real quick here, or walking through these right here. Okay, and you can also look at this, boom, as a what is the other piece? And then the other piece that we're trying to look at here. I'm just trying to do one more. I'm doing some brainstorming out loud. All right, and probably need to do something called a focus finder. So we'll talk about that in a second here. Focus finder is when we're kind of feeling out of sorts with the work stream. Good morning if you are just listening, or good evening or good afternoon. If anybody would like to come on live, we'll be inviting people to come on live. Just leave a comment from wherever you are. I can share the link of where it is for you to actually come on live. But wanted to start to capture the morning routine to get this to get the day started and to get the day started in a meaningful way of what we actually go through. So number one, morning routine starts the uh, evening before with getting a good night's sleep. Inside of like the art of impossible and kind of the requirements of that, for me, it's about 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single night. It doesn't happen most nights for me. I passed out at about 9:30 last night. Actually wound up waking up at 3:30. I had a couple of things that I wanted to get. My plan originally was to get up at 6 o'clock this morning to do the to do this morning routine stuff from 6 to 7, and then log on to my laptop. I decided to do about 25 minutes of laptop time before when I woke up at that, because it was just like something was kind of annoying me to get out the line. So when I do that, I go and when I go back to sleep, I use paraliminals, which are you can just if you're using Spotify, you can. I'm sorry, I'm just drinking a little bit of water to start here. If you use Spotify, you can get paraliminals. They're a good like meditative way to be able to get back to sleep and sort of correct that the damage that's done getting up in the middle of the night and doing a little bit of work. But I follow sort of like where my kind of what makes me rest here again. I was supposed to be for the end of it. Okay, so then after that, wake up, do a once get wake up, feed the dog. That's the important one. Drink some water, and then get started on the morning routine. Now, when I go through the work part of the morning routine, number one, it starts with a capture of down on a piece of paper. Sometimes I can actually create a Cleft Note. I'm curious. That's CLEFT. It's a new product that was created by Justin Mitchell and friends, and it's a good way to start to be able to dictate a note out, and it actually gives you a summarized version of the stuff that you're doing. So one of the things I'm going to do this morning is actually test out all the apps that I'm working with and see if I can actually record live while we're doing a live, if I can actually do some of those recordings of some of those messages. So when I go through, actually I'll talk through what the morning actually looks like. So now started heading out and walking with the puppy, and then we'll do the first thing that I typically do on the outside is I do a check-in with my coach. So I listen to his update from the day before, and then I give my update back to him. We do that over Yak, asynchronous voice notes. The second thing I do, which I do on Loom, is a video check-in with my health coach. And the reason I do that is because Loom is good for doing a screen capture video. You can also do screen capture videos on, if you're an iPhone user, you can use screen capture videos. I found that the Loom videos are a little bit lighter. I guess less compression or more compression, so there's a little bit less, there's a little bit less time that goes along with those. So, good morning. I'm going to go on mute for a second while I finish up the elevator. All right, so we are back. So yes, I'll do inside of Loom. Loom creates a little bit lighter videos, and then it also does transcription right away. So that's why I create that for the health coach. I'll update that to him. So that's to my human health coach. I work inside of Gyroscope. That's gyroscope.pe. And then I also have 4 AI coaches that are there that also can start to use the data. So they can start to get the updates of the stuff that I'm actually talking about, which interacts with my iPhone, which interacts with the data that comes through my Apple Watch, right? So we've got like the quantitative data that comes through, and then the updates that I provide in the video is me kind of updating the stuff that I need to work with. Like I need to do a check-in with like how I'm feeling, but also the words that are being spoken during that check-in can become useful data to provide the qualitative elements on top of the quantitative data. And I like that combination of the one human coach and the 4 AI coaches because it feels like a good, like, solid team. The AI is great for doing the quantity. The human is actually good for doing like, quality checks and, and just better for having a conversation with me in a lot of different cases. Although I would say the AI is coming up the learning curve very quickly on with a lot of that stuff. After that, I'll do a check-in with the family, and that is that's just a voice note. It's a voice note to the family. I just tell them just update what's going on, doing a little check-in with them. I do that inside of Apple Voice Notes. I think not Apple Voice Notes, whatever it is, the voice notes that are native inside of Messenger. My preference is to actually create them someplace else. And then to send a link out to them, but their preference is to actually get the voice notes. So that's an important thing, especially with some of the voice notes, is they're not necessarily, they're easy to create, which is great, but they're not necessarily easy to consume. So the way that I compensate for that is I'll create in a couple of different platforms for people so that they can consume it in the way they want. But the voice notes are becoming better and better because they are starting to add transcription on the back end. Then I'll either do a couple of different things. If I've got something that's sort of lingering around my mind, what I'll do from there, let me just see if any comments came through yet. No comments coming through yet. If there's something that's lingering around in my mind, what I'll do is I will create, I'll turn on Otter.ai, and also we'll turn on Clef Notes at the same time, and then we'll just start to brain dump the stuff that's on the top of the mind. And what's nice about it, what Clef Notes does, is it will start to organize it into I'll start to organize it into like a consumable format. It puts into paragraphs, does some formatting, so it could take some random, like all over there type text conversations, and then turn it into something that is potentially useful. What Otter does is it captures everything that's going on in the background and then starts to make that into, hey, let's start doing some summaries on top of this stuff, or let's start to kind of pull out the salient points that can make a difference. And Otter on the back end will start doing a summary of the stuff that you're starting to work with. Now, what we're adding on to the live components, I was doing audio live events before that weren't actually recording. So I was getting them recorded for myself, but they weren't usable out there on the side. So now what I'm thinking about is creating lives this way. Just purchased StreamYard yesterday to be able to do these types of live audio broadcasts that people can consume live while we're working with the dog. People can come on and actually chat live, but the important thing is we have a recording for it on the back end, and then we'll pull out the key little components of this. I think there's tools right now where you can break down videos pretty quickly and then pull out some of the key components. And then some of the ideas are, so I'm actually going through the morning routine. If I want to talk about the morning routine piece of it, I can, and I'm away, or if I'm recording something else, or if I've got to pop into a meeting, then just start playing that piece live. So what? And then why doing all of this? Well, one, the morning routine, right? Your place is being able to get a lot done in the morning before we actually get started with the day, but also two, to demonstrate ways of working during off times that can get a lot of communication started and a lot of communications going in the right direction that wouldn't necessarily have happened before. And if you are just joining live, number one, if you'd like to come on, leave a comment, and I can invite you to come on live. We'll have this start turning into some interview segments. But the other thing is, this has all been while I've been walking my dog in the morning, right? So it's an activity that I'd be doing either just going on a regular walk, and we're getting some steps in to get started. But this is time not sitting in front of a computer. This is time that's not focusing. I've got a neck desk on right now, so this is all hands-free types of work. And so I could either be listening to a podcast right now, or I could be listening to a book right now, or I could just be creating a whole bunch of stuff that could potentially be useful to other people, but will definitely be useful to my future self. So those are that is what the kind of the morning routine looks like in 13 minutes. When we get a little bit more time, we'll go through and process some more of these items. And now, the other thing that I was going to talk about is, let me just add this right here into the banners. Be right back. Let's see here. Topics for Walk and Talks is the last thing we'll close out with today. I put 3 S's in there. I didn't mean to. Oop, let's not do the N there. Let's do add banner. So let's go topics for Walk and Talks. So yeah, whole purpose of kind of doing some of the brain dumping in the morning before we get started is to be able to create topics and to be able to create structures for these, so they can be potentially useful for other people. So I did an hour and 30 minutes yesterday with some really bad audio, but had my friend Bradley come on, and we started talking about some of the challenges around data science. And then then I did another one later in the evening, which is about 30 minutes during our second walk. And from that, we'll start using some of our AI friend tools to be able to surface surface topics that we want to talk about, and more importantly, to start to surface structure, start making some of these things more consumable. So the first couple days is just really about working through the tech, describing the process, and working through some of those different pieces, and then soon we'll start moving this into a usable way to be able to communicate and to be able to work. So I'm going to put an end to this one right now. And we'll go through the actual morning routine activities on the back end. And love to connect. Please shoot a direct message if there's some, if you'd like to come on, if you are listening to this, or if there's some topics that you would like to see presented, or whatever is top of mind. If you just want to say, if you just want to say hello. So, Walking and Talking, inspired by Mark Levy's book Accidental Genius, using free writing as access to your greatest thoughts. This is Free Talking as access to your greatest thoughts. It's also inspired by what Sparks and Honey does, their daily cultural briefing, which is I mean, at least before, it was a meeting that was designed internally for the company that was shared out for the rest of the world. So this is and then also, I think inside of the Working Out Loud, like showing our work in progress, showing the work that we're actually doing. One, to get feedback from other people on what could, I'll get feedback from other people of what makes a difference, but also where changes can be made, and the real unintended or the intended collateral benefit is tripping onto ideas that are exciting and then could potentially make a difference. So thanks a lot for anybody who's listening to this live or listening after the session, and have an amazing Monday.